Star Trucker was released in September of 2024 and was developed by a small team, Monster and Monster. It released on Xbox consoles and PC through Game Pass, making it one of those rare console exclusives for Xbox. You can also pick it up on Steam if you don't have an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. So, is it worth playing? This review is going to answer that question.
This is Gold Rock Radio.
Cause we're flying tonight.
This is Dusty showing up. You know me. Always got time to help a newcomer.
Cause we're flying tonight. We're flying tonight.
Gate is active and you're clear to roll. Good luck out there.
Let's start the review, like we always do, with the technicals of Star Trucker. I played it on both the PC and Xbox Series X, and the game ran really well. I had no FPS drops, crashes, or major glitches. There were a few bugs, particularly with the AI suddenly turning their trucks around and getting stuck on objects, but it wasn't enough to detract from the experience. PC may be a little different depending on the graphical settings you choose, but I would suggest you try to get as close to 60 FPS as you can since you're going to want a smooth drive. There's a lot of object pop-in on console, especially with the debris that appears when you travel off-highway. Chunks of rock will just appear, but usually at a distance where you can still avoid them or slow down. Moving on to graphics, Star Trucker may not be a AAA graphical powerhouse, but the environments the developers created make for a great-looking game. The art style is a mix of futuristic tech and modern-day truck driving. Going into your rig, it's an American-style truck that you would find on the highways today, with a CB radio and all the analog switches, just with a much larger cab and 2 rocket boosters strapped onto it. You can customize the paint color and add some different cosmetic items in the shop, but the overall appearance doesn't change. As you take damage, the paint rusts and degrades, and your truck will look pretty rough, especially when you hit something and have holes leaking oxygen, forcing you to slap some steel plates over them and weld them on. The systems you travel to are all very diverse, with different planets and environments, and some of the skyboxes are pretty good. The later game sections really show off the various space stations, asteroids, and planets. Overall, Star Trucker looks pretty good as long as you go in expecting a truck simulator game set in space.
That's a 10-2, partner. Loud and clear. With that done, I guess you should be on your way.
So what will you be doing in Star Trucker? Basically, you will be picking up trailers of various items, sizes, and hazard categories and delivering them to another system via jump gates. You get a job from a space station or a hub, travel to the cargo zone, and back into the trailer, hitching your truck to it, then traveling slowly and carefully to the delivery location. This could be the next system over, or it could take multiple jumps. As you do jobs, you level up and get skill points that unlock different types of loads you can haul, or more money and experience for specific types of jobs, or bonuses to your ability to EVA. If you happen to hit something on your journey, not only does your load take damage, which affects the payout at the end, but your truck will take damage as well. If you don't have enough hull to absorb the damage, your oxygen will slowly leak out, forcing you to go into space and repair it. That's the second major gameplay aspect of Star Trucker, the maintenance of your truck. Your rig needs batteries to operate its systems, control boards to keep them running, oxygen filters to keep you breathing air, batteries for your suit to charge since you can only go out into space for a limited amount of time, and hull repairs to keep you safe while you move. Every time you take a hit, you'll need to fix it. You'll need to replace your batteries as your systems drain. Keeping the lights on will make them drain faster, keeping the gravity in your rig on costs a lot of power, and even hooking up to a trailer takes energy. The maintenance in Star Trucker will cost you most of your money, especially if you aren't careful with your driving or limiting your systems that you don't strictly need. As you go further into the game, things like extreme heat and cold in different systems take effect, making you need to set your temperature gauges in your cab to counter them. You'll run into electrical storms that will fry your systems, solar flares that will drive the heat up unless you close your truck's shutters and drive by a camera, and anomalies that hide from sight until you use your horn to sense them temporarily. So that's basically it for the gameplay. You're hauling freight between systems and making repairs on your rig. You can find salvage out in space that you can sell, or you use your rig if you spot a battery or filter floating in the void. But there's also side missions, which act as the game's story. The side missions come from a few of your fellow rig drivers, and they will periodically call you on the CB radio to have you help them with quests. Most of these quests are just hauling stuff for them, but without the payout or experience that regular jobs do, so you should only take these side missions if you have the money and time to do them. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself strapped for cash. The story itself is pretty basic. You're a new rig driver, and they are helping show you the ropes. As the story goes on, you begin to investigate a shady company that is ruining some of the colonies that you're working out of. It isn't anything grand, but it's something to break up the gameplay, and some of the characters can be very interesting. Just don't expect an epic adventure or a grand payoff at the end. You shouldn't play Star Trucker for the story or the lore. You should play it because it's relaxing to haul freight in space. Alright, let's go into the pros and cons of Star Trucker. For the pros, it runs really well on console and fairly well on PC depending on your settings. The gameplay loop of picking up freight, driving to a location, and dropping it off is relaxing and fun. The environments can be pretty memorable, especially in the late game. It will take you about 30 hours to get to the ending, depending on how much trucking you do in between quests. For a $25 US game, that's pretty good. For the cons, the story isn't great, and the ending is pretty disappointing. The maintenance of your rig can be very demanding, even on the easier difficulties. I don't know who designed the batteries in this universe, but AA's last longer than these things. The rig controls like a brick, which is deliberate, but it is lacking from a lot of other space games like Elite Dangerous. You don't have the fine controls needed to back into a lot of places, which is a requirement for docking. And that's it for another review. I really enjoyed Star Trucker, and the fact that it's on Game Pass and only $25 to buy if you don't have it makes it an easy recommend if you enjoy truck simulator games. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and maybe subscribe to the channel. I'm the Casual Console Gamer, and I'll see you all in the next review.